Okay, so we're back here at Comptia's Breakaway in San Antonio, Texas, and we're on the record with Michael Goad, who's the CEO of Zlago. Michael, overall, just give us a high-end idea about what you're doing in the cloud and why that's important for the channel.
Sure. So Zlago provides a full suite of cloud services or hosted IT services, which include hosted desktops, hosted virtual servers, hosted Exchange, SharePoint, hosted VoIP PBX, security, storage, and a variety of other business applications and software included. We sell 100% through the channel, and we've designed our business to make it easy for VARs and solution providers to move their business to the cloud without having to make the capital investment, people investment, and skill investment to build out a cloud services business on their own. Rather, we've provided an easy way for them to private label and have their own service and manage that on behalf of their small, medium business clients.
So basically what you're saying is that you're taking most of the risk out of the equation for them. I assume it's easy for them to scale up or scale down. Would that be right?
That's absolutely right. We have approximately 150 partners today. We work very closely with Synex and their business units that are focused on cloud and SaaS services. And once we confirm that a partner is appropriate and has the right set of people and target customers, there's no charge for those partners to come on board, and then we work with them and help them with the marketing and sales of pitching this, because it is definitely a different type of sale and a different type of pitch and a different way of servicing a customer than what many solution providers and VARs are accustomed to.
So why, let's start off. How do you define what the cloud is?
So the cloud, I guess the simplest definition would be a set of services running on servers and software that are stored, housed, managed outside of the physical premises of a business. And so that would typically mean in data centers and locations around the country or around the world, managed by a third party.
So right now in the industry, we're sitting at where there's about 80,000 VAR organizations between Canada and the US. And of those 80,000 VAR units, and there's about 12,000 of them who are somewhere in the managed services field. And a lot of those people have moved into a SaaS field or into the cloud. I guess that's SaaS is part of the cloud, so
yes,
either way, depending upon how you define it. But so we have, let's say we have, for argument's sake, 12,000 people who are in the cloud right now, or doing stuff in the cloud in the VAR community. For those 68,000 people, or 68,000 companies who aren't in the cloud yet, what's your advice? Like, how do they get into it? How do they get started?
So there are a number of ways. Today, the 68,000 that you're referencing, presumably their business is servicing their business customers, selling them hardware, servers, desktops, routers, phone systems, selling them software, installing it, providing professional services around it, and those who are doing managed services then also help them manage that remotely. But even those managed services providers, I wouldn't necessarily call all of those 12,000 cloud, because they are effectively from their location, from their VAR solution provider managed services location, they're managing equipment and software that is on site at the business. In the cloud, that same solution provider would be managing that set of services that would be running in a data center. And then and the business would really just be accessing those services via the internet. And so the question that you asked is how do we one of these new non-managed services providers move to this place? Well, as they look at the opportunity to solve a customer's problem, which may be we've got an email server in-house that we've been managing. I'll use a simple example. Well, as they want to upgrade that or expand it or replace the server, it would make sense to look to move that to the quote cloud and migrate that to a hosted solution. Charge the customer on a per month, per user basis, give them more advanced functionality. That same approach can be said for hosting the accounting application, the insurance industry or law firm application, for any other proprietary software that might be running on a server in-house. It even extends to the desktops. Today there's remote desktop management approaches. A very, what we believe is a more efficient approach in many use cases is hosted desktops. The desktops themselves run in the quote cloud. They're running on servers in a data center, kept up to date, kept secure, constantly backed up with all the desktop software integrated with the server-based application. So now we've effectively taken the LAN in the office and moved it to the cloud.
So what's the advantage of that? Like, I mean, everybody keeps talking cloud. We got to move into the cloud. We got to move into the cloud. But from VAR's perspective, both from his customer's point of view and from his point of view, why bother? I mean, it's working on premise. Why move it? Why work towards the cloud?
There's a long list of reasons, and I'll highlight some of them.
I was just going to say, we don't have time for all.
Exactly. So one is that, as companies look to improve, enhance, upgrade their IT infrastructure, there's a capital cost doing it the current or old way. You have to spend thousands, maybe tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands, depending on the size of the business, on equipment, on services. You have to have people that you're paying to manage that and run that and keep it upgraded. If you've got 50 employees, desktops that you need to maintain, you've got to worry about keeping those backed up, patched, updated. You have to worry about sharing of data. If you have server-based apps and you have people that are working from home sometimes or on the road, you have to worry about securely accessing those applications via VPN, which sometimes means upgrading equipment. It's all very complicated. In a society that's certainly gone through the economic ups and downs that we're currently experiencing, it's very attractive to be able to say, here's a fixed monthly fee, we'll give you all of those services, you'll have higher level of security than you're used to, more constant and regular backing up of the services, less of a management headache, you don't have to worry about it, and it's much simpler to use. So these are some real reasons why the customer would want it. From the VAR's perspective, it certainly enables a recurring revenue model, which again, during economic uncertainty when people may not be buying equipment and doing major IT infrastructure upgrades, to know that you are providing a service and every month you're going to get paid, and if that customer happens to downsize, you get a little bit less that month. If they happen to add some more people, you just increase per user per month a little bit more for those employees.
So those are some of the reasons. Other reasons are, that I would add from a VAR's point of view, is one, if they don't do it, they're going to lose their customer eventually, because there'll be an app that they can't provide, or there'll be something that they can't provide that the customer will want. And at some point, even though they have this great relationship, they're going to say to that customer, or the customer's going to say to the VAR, I really like you, and you're still be my friend, and you still have the keys to the front door of our place, and you can come over with family parties, but I need this app that this person provided to me. And so then you say, well, okay, buy that from them. Once you let one of your competitors in, and if they're doing a good job, they're going to sell them another app, and another app, and another app, and before you know it, they're going to own the customer, not you. Whereas one of the biggest concerns that the bars who aren't in have is who's going to own the customer. I've heard that so many times, and I feel like strangling. You know, like, well, if we do that, we're moving it into the cloud, and we don't actually service the computers that everything's running on, where it's housed, and we aren't in charge of the security and the storage and so on. So now we don't own the customer anymore.
Couldn't agree with you more. And in fact, if you think the cloud is opening up, making it arguably easier for new entrants to come in and go after the SMB customer base. We have many companies who have struggled over the years to figure out how to get to the SMB customer. And bars and solution providers have been really in a terrific position in owning that market, owning that relationship, being the trusted IT advisor to these small, medium businesses. And that was very attractive to us when we set up Zlago. We said the difference with the cloud is reselling, providing value-add services and solutions on top of cloud services is really what the bars are about. It's not too, if you think about it that way, it's not too dissimilar with what bars and solution providers have been doing. It's just rather than taking hardware and software, you're now taking these services, think of them as components, and putting them together in a solution. Owning the customer, being the IT advisor, being the trusted advisor that the bars and solution providers have always been. This is a natural evolution for the business.
Yeah, and we own a program called the Trusted Business Advisor, where we teach people about how to get into the cloud and give them the tools to help get their customers in there and stuff. But the questions keep coming back, and I think it's a fear factor. I mean, at the end of the day, what's happened is that if you look at the apps that have been built, you look at the technology that's being built, you look at all the changes that have gone on in this industry, and you think about it, for the first time ever, instead of saying to customers, hey, we can sell you solutions, and then we sell them more and more product, the conversation's not about that anymore. Now we being the channel, really can provide to our customers good, solid solutions that are going to help them run their businesses better. And, but a lot of that, to do that, you can do it, I guess you could always do it the old-fashioned way, but it's more cumbersome, it's more expensive, it takes way more of the VAR's time, and it just doesn't make any sense. A VAR has to get their head around the fact that you are now a business advisor. If you really want to keep your customers, you have to become a business advisor. And business advisor doesn't, your customer is not going to care where the data is stored. They're going to care about, are you getting me the best solutions for my business? And if you're still, as a VAR, talking speeds and fees to your customers, you're just in the wrong planet.
That's right. In particularly in the small medium business space, where many customers, they don't care about that. They just want to know that the services are available, that it works, that it's easy, and it's secure.
Always on, always available. That's it. And if it's not always
and
on,
security.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then if it's not always on and always available, they want to know that they have somebody that they trust that will make sure it is. And now, guess what? With all this of what's going on, with a BlackBerry or any other pretty much phone, they can actually be sitting on a beach somewhere and solve the problem in a couple of minutes and get right back into whatever they were doing.
That's absolutely right, and that's and that's the premise for a cloud, and it's the premise for what Zlago is all about.